Hey artists and creators, J-Star here, and today I want to show you my Alice in Wonderland assemblage slash shadow box. I'm really happy how this is turning out. This of course is just the first stage covering the box itself, but there's going to be all kinds of stuff inside this soon, okay? But let me show you how I did this. All right, so I'm going to start my Alice in Wonderland project. Shadow boxes, assemblages, whatever we want to call them. I found these at Goodwill, but I think they're from the Dollar Tree. So, I mean, I got them for, I think they were 89 cents. I already peeled all the tags off of them. But I think they're from the Dollar Tree. So I'm actually going there today and I'm going to look and make sure, or see if you can still get them or not. But I got several of them and I made several different shadow boxes out of them, but I want to do an Alice in Wonderland. So the first thing I did was I took off the two hangers and then I'll put a sawtooth hanger in the middle, but I also wanted to change the orientation. I like this long section being tall like that. I may do these different, like do them like that, because you'll see I found a piece that can really fit in there cool. So anyway, I'll do them like this for now. The first thing I did was I got a couple of Alice in Wonderland books, and I just ordered these off of Amazon because I didn't want to go searching through Goodwill or the thrift store. I wanted to make sure I have text and images. Oh, I just realized that image is going to fit right in that tall thing, which is exactly what I need for that. I'll show you. But anyway, it has images on almost every page, so lots to choose from, which will be fun. And I'm thinking I'll probably use my watercolor pencils to color these in and give them some life. I might just tint some of them. I will coffee dye all of the pages before I cover the boxes. See, like that's such an iconic image. And this, I want to do a roses painted red thing. So there's so many little things like that. But also, everywhere text shows, I want it to be Alice in Wonderland. And I'll probably go through and find some lines that I can position specifically to say specific things. Like I'd love to find "We're all mad here" to put above my tea party section. That one is so good. That one is so good. Oh, so many good things. So that's what I'm going to do first is I will, this is the same, just same illustrations, different sizes, which is cool. Anyway, I'll coffee dye a lot of that and then cover the boxes with the papers. Now, to fill them, I found a bunch of things. I've went through a lot of my little goodies. I went through my dollhouse stuff. The first thing that I thought of was these. Now, I used them before on an artist trading card set that I made flamingo croquet cards with. And I used some moss grass and I put these on there, but I painted these. So I painted over them to give them a more, I don't know, artistic look. I pulled these out. They are a little large, but they could be fun. I'm thinking if they're mounted in kind of on an angle, maybe with some moss and then like a couple croquet balls, maybe a croquet wicket, which I had made the croquet wickets before with white paper clips. Do I have them? I don't have them close by, but I just cut the paper clips in half and made the wickets. And even like the way the paper clip twists, you get 3 different sizes, so you can kind of make a 3D effect with them too. So I might even do 3 wickets in each little box. If I use the flamingos, I'm not sure that I'm going to use the flamingos, but they're there for an option. They are fun. They are fun. I'll put those, well, maybe I'll leave those there so we know that that section could be occupied. And none of this is permanent. Like as I put them in, I will figure out where I want them to stay. Now, the other thing that I knew I wanted was a bottle of the Drink Me potion and a cookie that says Eat Me, okay? So I went to my bottles and I found all of these. Let's see. You can see all these. And they're kind of big. I was thinking I would have just a little, one little section that's, you know, had a potion with the Drink Me tag and a little cookie that my idea is I'm going to make it out of air dry clay and imprint Eat Me with little stampable letters. So that would fit. That would fit in there, but I think that bottle is kind of chunky. Like I really prefer these. So it could go in there like that with a cookie. And I was sort of thinking on the long section, I'll put those out of there, on the long section that I could do it with dirt and like roots sticking out so it looks like down the rabbit hole, because that's at the bottom of the rabbit hole is where she finds the Drink Me potion. So that's that. But then I was digging through my dollhouse stuff and I found these two little tables, and in the story they're on a table because when she shrinks down she's too small to reach it on the, you know, the table again. And then so it's kind of good to have that. And I thought, well, if we put the table in there and if it were on an angle like that, then you put the bottles on top, it could look really cool. So have the bottle and the little cookie on the table. I think there's a key on the table too, but I may not put that there because I found some keys, and depending on what I want to do with them, like this one is great because it has like the heart shape on it, so that, you know, obviously is evocative of the queen. I don't, maybe that's like up there or something, I don't know. That one's cool too, but like this could be on a table. We could have two keys, I guess. So I'm considering those. I have the extra key. Obviously, another thing that I knew I wanted to use was playing cards. And I have playing cards in all kinds of sizes. From jumbo to, this is, I've already altered it a little bit. But I pulled it out just to have the size because I think this size cut out will fit right in a hole. I mean, I can see it will, but I think it's actually exactly perfect. So that can be cool, cut out into one of the holes. And obviously I have a lot of Queen of Hearts cards, so I'll just dig through my regular cards and find them, and I'll distress them. But I like this Harlequin that I punched out. I used a die cut to punch this out and then just put red behind it. So I could do that again. Again, this is sanded, and I used vintage photo to age that down. So that's a possibility. But then I also have these little baby cards, and I have a few decks of these. And of course, each one, well, their joker is a queen, which is cool. So that could be something in there. But also, if we get to the hearts section, I just take out the hearts cards, and then we obviously have a Queen of Hearts there. So that would be a good card to use. And then any of the other cards could be used. And actually, I think the guards may be I'll have to look it up, but I think the guards may be clubs, so we could have that as well in a cubby somehow. I definitely want to have cards. And also, I found this in my dollhouse stash, tiny playing cards. So I have 2 decks of tiny playing cards, which could be done something something else in one of these, like maybe even it's like a row of falling cards just to give some movement, like glued to a wire to do something. But that's kind of fun. And again, it plays with scale because the whole like shrinking and growing that Alice does, to have tiny cards, middle cards, giant cards, it can be a fun thing. Okay, so I've got little cards to play with. And let's see, what else do we have? Of course, we need to have a tea party. And so I found these. I remember I bought 6 of these because I could only buy 6 because I needed 1 for my miniature chateau. And if you don't know about my miniature chateau, check it out on Instagram. It's at Tiny Chateau Etoile. I'll put it on the screen. There it is, at Tiny Chateau Etoile. It was like my COVID project. I started redoing and decorating and furnishing a little chateau dollhouse. So actually it's kind of large, but anyway, check that out. Okay, what else do I have? Roses. Okay, and now I plan to use a lot of greenery and moss in this. I have different kinds of mosses. This is actually like model greenery. It's just, I think it's foam ground up like that. So it's good to add texture with that. And then I have different kinds of mosses, sphagnum mosses, reindeer mosses, all kinds of different mosses and different shades of green that I plan to use. But these were also in my dollhouse flowers bins, and they're little baby rosebuds. And I think these would be perfect to like build like a bush hedge kind of thing, stick a few of them in there, and then paint a few of them sloppily red and make a little toothbrush, make a little paintbrush to have laying down on the bottom of the scene, so it looks like, you know, we're painting the roses red. And maybe there's even a paint bucket. I could probably make a paint bucket. I think I could do that. Okay, now I'm just gonna separate these so we have some roses for each side, each assemblage. Also, what else do I have? Oh, I have mushrooms. Oh, well, back to the tea party. I found these mushrooms recently on Temu, and I bought them. I thought they had 2 different sizes, but they don't have 2 different sizes. They just have the one size. So again, in my dollhouse food bin, I knew I had some extra mushrooms. So I've got these little mushrooms. So I just pulled out 1 of each size. And my plan is I'll paint those like the Alice in Wonderland style red and white mushrooms, red caps with white dots on them. And those can be in there, again, with some mosses and stuff to give it, a cool look. For the tea party, I also pulled out tiny spoons. Okay. And these are gold, which I thought was a nice little difference for that scene, or whatever we're calling that. And then somewhere, oh, here we go. I have some random pieces that I had separated out a while back. Let me see if I can just slide this up so you can see. I knew somebody who was making a Alice in Wonderland diorama, and so I gave her a bunch of pieces. Oh, there's some grass in the bottom of there. I love it. Just to give you the idea. So And I also already made all these little potion bottles for some matchboxes that I ended up doing a different way, but I could still do those. I think I do want real liquid in this bottle. The blue liquid, I don't know what it's going to be yet. Maybe some glycerin dyed blue. But anyway, so I have all these little things. These little desserts, they're poorly painted, so I could go back and repaint them better, more realistically. So that can be in the tea party. And then there's some little pictures. That's a nice color. This one's got cherries on it. I'll put that in there. A couple cups. My thought is it could be cute to stack a few things. Take a few saucers and stack them up so that they are kind of wonky. Maybe add a couple cups. Yeah. And then throw a spoon in the top, like a stack of wonky cups and a spoon in top could be very cool. I don't know if end up using the plates or not. I mean, it could be in there somewhere. Oh, maybe I guess we need it for a treat, but maybe we don't. Why must a treat be on a plate at the Mad Hatter's tea party? So anyway, I have all this to play with. I'll just put that in there for the tea party. See, I'll just move this over here. The grass is really cool. This is a foam, a moss ribbon that's like 4 inches wide. So I can cut pieces of that to stick in there. Or again, I can take the roses. Will they poke through? Well, they poke through if I use my awl. That might be a good answer, to do a wall of roses like that. And then poke a few, or paint a few red buds. That could be cool. Okay, so there's that. Do I have anything else? Oh, I have these little doorknobs, which could make a tiny door. So that might be a good thing. It could be a tiny door in there. And there's also tiny keys there. So who knows? Who knows what we'll do yet? Actually, you know, I did a set of Alice in Wonderland artist trading cards, and I did a really cool thing with some pieces of, molded pieces of like molding that I molded from acrylic, or I don't know what I used, paper, air dry paper clay, something. Anyway, it was kind of architectural to make the keyhole. So maybe I could do that again with the doorknob and kind of create a small door there with some architectural pieces. Okay, I think that's all I have collected so far. And I mean, if I did that, that's all 8 compartments full. I still need to make my little cookies for this, which I'm going to do in a little bit. But basically, I did these for another project. These are all air dry clay, just cut out with cookie cutters. And then I let them dry. But I've already painted these gold for the projects that they're going to be with. But if I did them little, this one I impressed with the end of a chopstick. But if I make the little round, then I can impress it with the letters "Eat Me" and make a tiny little cookie. So I can do that. Easy, cheesy. I'm hoping I can find a little tiny cookie cutter with the fluted edge, but we'll see. It's such a small detail, who knows? So that's what I've got to start with. But the first thing I'm gonna do is coffee dye some papers and cover these bases. Okay, so let me do all that. I think you know how to do all that, and I'll be be back. Okay, so I just want to show you where I'm at. I thought I would stop here and just show you what I've done. I've gone through my little $4 Alice book, and I've cut out pieces, pictures that I liked, images. I really love that. The picture of Alice with the flamingo is great because then that really helps sell this. And I don't know now if I'm going to put it upright or upside down like it is the croquet mallet, but anyway, I think that's good. And then like here, let me find some tweezers, or where's my knife? I'll just do it with a knife. The image of, okay, come on. Sorry, kids. Okay, so the image of the Queen's Guards painting the roses red, that's going to be this. A green back wall with all the little white roses and then a couple of them painted red. The image of that was them by a tree with a branch or whatever, a trunk. So I cut the trunk down the middle and put half of the picture there. Can you see that? And half of the picture there. So the guards are going to be on either side of my little wall of greenery. I wanted to do some flying cards, so I found that picture. It's like the last illustration of the book, I think. But what I'm going to do is take these little cards, okay, and I'm going to have one or two curved wires here, and I'm going to glue those randomly to the wire so that the cards can be, you know, flying all over the place, okay? And I am going to go back and ink everything. Can you see that? I've started with a couple of these. Instead of coffee dyeing, I decided to just do aged edges. I think that'll work out. So anyway, that's going to be in that little space. P.S. I cut all these out, and then I went back and got my things out to see how they're going to line up. So I decided, I just took a piece of the, the liner pages of the book and stamped it with an old black stamp pad. So I got that kind of rough Harlequin on there. What else on this? I decided that, the I'm late White Rabbit would be good with the key, a big key in the middle, because he's sort of the key to the whole thing. Tea Party, I've got the whole Tea Party stuff ready for that. This, so far, I just have the King and Queen of Hearts. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I think it could be fun if I can find, I have some little farm animals, and if I can find the little pig, maybe I'll do a golden pig in there, and, her little footstool pig. So that's that. And then, of course, here will be the Eat Me, Drink Me on the table, and with the key. And I think I'm going to mount this little dollhouse door like down here on the inside, so it's sort of like, there's the little door, low doorknob or whatever. I think that's how that's going to work. So now I am going to glue everything down and or age the edges and glue everything down in here, and then start putting the little pieces into the shadow box. Okay. Oh, one more thing. I also cut out some quotes. I went through and found, like, we're all mad here, I'm mad, you're mad. So I got that, and let's see. Curiouser and Curiouser. Why is, I shouldn't bring them all out. Why is a raven like a writing desk? Off with her head. And then, what is this? Oh yeah, this is just the little golden key. Oh, and he hurried off. So maybe that'll be like under the March hare, the little golden key, and he hurried off because we know he took the little golden key. And then finally, I've got this little poem, which I thought would be fun to put around the Mad Hatter's tea party. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Up above the world, so up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. So I thought that would be good to just put on these edges around the Mad Hatter's tea party. So that's what I've got. Okay, now I'll go glue. Okay, so I thought you'd like to see this because it looks pretty cool, all exploded out. I've got it all inked up on the edges, but I love the way it looks when it's laid out, ready to be glued in the box. And I did one more little thing. I stamped another piece to use as the floor of the rabbit hole. So I did it on an angle specifically so that it adds to that wonky feeling. Okay, so I've been gluing my things in, and I forgot, I thought I should tell you a couple little tricks. One thing I do where these little corners meet, I just punch a big circle out of one of the book pages. I've done it with words before. This time I just found white space. I may go and put like hearts back over these. I'm not sure yet, but I just used white. And then they're just a little bit bigger than these. Who knows what your thing will look like. But then I'm just able to fold down the corners, pinch in the corners. And then when I put the papers on, that little bit of wood is covered. So that's one thing. I use a ruler, a plastic ruler, to get in those edges and push all the edges down, and to act as like a scraper to make sure that all my bubbles are out. And if bubbles appear, I can push them back down. If you use your fingers, sometimes you'll have glue. These book pages are so thin. If you get some glue on them, you can pull up the picture. So do be careful with that. So yes, be very gentle. Carrie Griffiths, Carrie the Crafter, he always uses saran wrap to mash down things when he's decoupaging, and I think that's a good idea. This, of course, is really tricky to get in there with it, but a plastic ruler will help you, okay? Now, I went ahead and started doing the edges, and I just thought I'd show you. So I've cut a strip like 1.25 inches wide, or almost 1.5 inches wide, so that it would wrap around this front edge. It's just a little longer than what it should be. So what I do is, once this glue is dry or close to dry, it's best when it's dry, I just come back in here. Let's do the top first. So I take the paper and fold it over, and then with just a nail file, you file the edge. It's just like tiny sandpaper, okay? And file the edge. And then you have a nice clean edge. That's a little bit not clean. Okay. Same thing over here. So I normally do this one first. Oh, not sure you can see. Okay. Just sand that edge, fold that edge down. Okay. And then inside here, I just break the, well, where's my knife? Oh, there it is. Just kind of cut down these little side flaps. Mine are just tiny, probably wouldn't matter that much. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, and then come in here and just sand this edge at an angle. And then that should peel right off. Just be gentle. See, that one fell right off. Okay. And you may have to go back in there and put some glue or whatever, but that gives you a perfect edge without having to, measure perfectly. And, okay, now we can go back in here and just give it a little ink the cool thing is this, the Vintage Photo ink actually helps disguise your edges down in those crevices where they may not be exact measurements, because we didn't measure anything. I just stuck it in and folded and cut and seed what would happen. But there's that. And then now when we go to do this part, it's going to take two, oh, snookies. It's going to take two bits of paper. Let's just do, okay, and I'm going to go an inch and actually 3/8, inch and 3/8. Oh, come on. That looks good. I don't know, is that going to be enough for writing? Maybe I'll, oh, that's actually really good. If we put this down here and it folds over, then that says, "Wake up, Alice dear. Why, what a long sleep you've had. Oh, I've had such a curious dream." So that's a good thing to have at the bottom. And I'm just gonna cut this. Oh, you can't see this. I'm gonna cut that. Like I said, it'll take two pieces to cover the bottom because I want all the words to be the right direction. There is one direction. Up. Okay, so I'm going to put that, the writing right on the edge, right here. I'm lining that edge up. Oh. Come on. Good. And then, by the way, I'm just using school glue to put this on. This is from the Dollar Tree. It's pretty watery, but I'm doing a very light application of it, just doing just a little bit. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you. So, well, do I want, yeah. So I'm just going to take this corner right here and allowing for me to see that what, I'm just going to snip it kind of at a 45-degree angle. I think we're cheating a little bit. Okay, pushing that down. So now we have that mitered corner. Of course, I just remembered I had thought of an idea. I was thinking I was going to use washi tape on the edge. Maybe it's still okay. I just hate to lose that, oh, I've had such a curious dream. But I guess it doesn't really matter. But I have some Harlequin washi tape, which I thought could be cool to go around the edge. I think I still may do it. I hope I have enough. Maybe I do. Come on, where's the edge? There it is. See, I think putting it right on the edge so it splits the Harlequin could be cool. Yeah, and then it just covers, it's just right to the edge. I think that's kind of perfect. And then it gives us that little extra Harlequin added bonus. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to finish the rest of this and then get some washi tape on. Watch me be 1.5 inches short of having enough to go around it. I would hate myself. Okay, I have my sides finished and I've added the washi tape and I love how that looks. One thing I also did is I cut out 4 diamonds from the washi tape and I put them sort of diagonally in the corners just to make it a little more something. But now I'm going back, and in the corners, I'm just filling in that white spot just to kind of, I don't know, make it a thing, make it not look so jarring. And now it's sort of like a, I don't know, sort of a flowery looking thing on the corner. It's got more presence. So I'm just gonna fill in those little corners, maybe. Yeah, I really should do this off camera because I'll probably mess it up. I'll just do the front on this one because I'm getting nervous. Okay, well, you get the idea. It just sort of finishes out those corners. So next, I'm actually going to find something for the back, and I think I have just some plain Harlequin scrapbook paper. If not, I'll find something black and white to put on there just to finish it off. Okay? Okay, so I have finished up with my Alice in Wonderland assemblage shadow box, and I really love the way it has turned out. And I've decided I'm going to make this in 3 parts, so two or three parts. We'll see how long the stuff on the inside takes. But I've covered the back with some, you know, grungy type. I've added my signature sticker thing. Says Funkin' Dazzles and J-Star, and I'll date it after I finish it. I don't want to put the date on it. I thought, well, maybe I'll put like the 14th or 15th, but who knows when I'll finish it. So I'm going to just date it after I finish it. That's safer. But I wanted to go ahead and get all this glued down because there's going to be 3D elements on the front of this. And you know, gluing down a back with 3D elements is always hard. You can use like a pillow and towels and stuff to cushion it, but it's just better to just get it done while it's all flat. And some of the things I did, I've added in here. If you can see that, we're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad. And then Curiouser and Curiouser, and why is a raven like a writing desk? I hope you can see those. And then, of course, the poem Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Bat, how I wonder what you're at. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. I love that. Now, also, I have filled in this little area just for the photo opportunity for this video. This will become the hedge with white roses that are being painted red. But for now, I just stuck that rabbit in there. But I really like the way it turns out, especially the Harlequin on the edge. It really just picks up that little Harlequin in there. And you can see the Harlequin floor in there, hopefully. Anyway, I'm very, very excited about how this is coming along. Okay. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know your favorite part of Alice in Wonderland. From Funkin' Dazzles, this is J-Star saying have a great day and keep creating.